Hello, and in this video I'm going to be talking about you. Not you personally, I mean the word you and its German translations du, ihr and sie. Yes, 3 different ways of saying you, which is why it can be a problem. Actually, more than 3. I'm not going to be talking about you when it means people in general, as in you can always tell when Rewboss hasn't done his research. That's a different you, and it doesn't concern us here. In fact, English used to have different versions of you, and in some dialects such as Yorkshire, still does. There was a singular form used when talking to one person, and a plural form used when talking to more than one person. And this was the same in other European languages as well. Makes sense when you think about it, it's definitely very useful. In German, there was the singular du and the plural ihr. In many of these languages, the plural form came to be used to address one person if you wanted to show them respect, and so it became the polite form. The same was originally true in German, which is why if you play a German computer game and it's set in the medieval period or in a fantasy world, characters will often address characters of a higher rank as ihr. But as English evolved, something unusual happened. We started being polite to everyone. And so the singular informal thou fell out of use, and we now say you to everybody. Relatively recently, Germans started doing a slightly unusual thing. Instead of continuing to use the plural form as the polite form, Germans took the word for they, sie, and spelled it with a capital S. So now we have 3 words for you. 2 of them are informal, one singular, one plural, and the other is formal, used for both singular and plural. So, when should you be formal and when should you be informal? Students of German are usually told to use the informal form when speaking to children, animals, family and close friends. For everybody else, you should use the polite form unless you are invited to use the informal form. In practice, the informal form is much more widespread. University and college students use it amongst themselves as a matter of course. Younger people in general are much quicker to move to the informal form than they used to be. And on social media, and that includes YouTube, you should always use the informal form. Among the urban middle classes, especially in places like Hanover or Bonn, older people tend to use the polite form unless they agree to use the informal form. In rural areas like this, the formal Sie is usually reserved for dealing with authorities. Everybody else is pretty much automatically du. If in doubt, it's best to use the formal form. If you use it inappropriately, it usually just sounds weird. If you use the informal form inappropriately, it can be an insult. On no account say du to any official, especially one in uniform. Not unless you really enjoy making life extremely difficult for yourself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not send me a postcard? Here's the address. Or visit rewboss.com, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my blog. Relatively recently, German started university and college students in Germany